What is going on, guys? My name is Lextasy and welcome back to the channel. And today I have an awesome privilege to show you guys a 2024 Mustang Dark Horse with 500 horsepower and 418 foot-pounds of torque. This is the same 5.0 that we all know and love, that you can really modify and make a lot of power out of, but it also has a 6-speed manual transmission. And this car right here, I gotta say, and I'm being completely transparent and honest, is the most fun manual transmission naturally aspirated car I have ever driven. And today I'm going to go over exactly why I love this thing. We're going to take it out on the road, we're going to hear it, we're going to feel it, and at the end of this video I am actually going to go over how does this compare to a Challenger wide body Scat Pack or the Camaro SS 1LE, and to see which one is a better option for the price point and which one is honestly more fun to drive. I've owned them all and I gotta say this one was a lot of fun, so let's get it going. I am not gonna lie, guys, I am actually super excited to do a video on the Mustang because I don't think I've done one on this channel. The last one was a GT350, which is perfect because both are manual transmissions, and it will be a good comparison between both cars that I've driven as well. Now that one did have a Whipple on it with 900 wheel horsepower, so a little advantage on the Shelby side, but I gotta say this bad boy right here was a lot of fun to drive for the last few hours. Now, what is the difference between the different trim packages on the 2024 Mustang? First and foremost, they got a complete facelift, complete redesign from the exterior to the interior with a massive screen, which I can show you here right now, which I am super excited about because finally there's technology in these Mustangs. Now you got the competitors, which is the Challenger and the, of course, Camaro, which are behind when it comes to their 8-inch screen. It's cute, but it's definitely not worth it, and it kind of looks super outdated. So let's say you want to pick up a 2024 Mustang. There is a few options for you. You got the EcoBoost 4-cylinder twin turbo that puts out 315 horsepower, guys. When has that ever happened that a 4-cylinder puts out that much power? But they are coming a long way. Now those start around $30,000 MSRP. Then you upgrade to a Mustang GT, which is the 5.0 V8, just like this one. MSRP on those is around $40,000. Then you come to this bad boy right here, which has a $20,000 upcharge to $60,000 MSRP, and this is what they call a Dark Horse. This one is finished in the grabber blue, beautiful car, and the MSRP on this one's actually $66,000 because of a few extra interior options and features. But I gotta say, this color is my most favorite color on these Mustangs. Now a lot of you are gonna ask, why would you ever pay $20,000 more for a Dark Horse? Well, let's start with the comparison. First and foremost, both Mustang GT and the Dark Horse get a 5.0 naturally aspirated V8 motor. I love the new dual intake setup on both trim levels, but the Dark Horse also gets upgraded connecting rods out of a GT500 and upgraded camshafts, which is a big deal, especially when you're trying to push more horsepower out of this thing. And Whipple just came out with their new gen of the Whipple Supercharger over 3.0 that puts out 830 horsepower for like $8,000 or $9,000. Absolutely worth it. I had an F-150 Whipple 5.0 regular cab short bed that was like 900 or 1,000 wheel horsepower on E85. That thing was a lot of fun. Now another cool thing about getting a Dark Horse is that the MagneRide shocks to suspension actually comes standard with these, which means every bump, every turn, every corner, this car is reacting and knows exactly how to place you on that corner to make sure that you're not spinning, you're not kicking the rear end out. And I know I'm going to upset a few people, but I gotta say, after owning a GT350, this one does feel almost on the same level. Now I know that's a Shelby and this is just a Mustang, but I gotta say the suspension has came a long way on this car. I have to say the 2024 Mustang interior, especially the infotainment system, has surprised me in a good way. You have two massive digital screens here. One is a touch screen, the other one is completely customizable, which is awesome because it's one thing to put a screen in there, but it's another to actually make it do a bunch of other cool things. So in most SRT vehicles, you have the SRT button. When you press it, it brings up a performance page. On the Mustang, you press the logo and it takes you to a My Mustang page. I call it a performance page as well. The cool thing about here is it does a bunch of cool things. For example, you can do cluster themes, so you have sport, track, calm, and a Fox body. I love the Fox body. It reminds me of the old school Mustangs. Obviously, I wasn't born back then. 93 is actually when I was born, and that was the last year for the Fox body, but look how cool those look. They're digital, but it looks like you got analog gauges, which is awesome. And you can do a bunch of other things. For example, if you want custom modes, you can go in here, and if you want to drive, for example, your car in normal mode, which means the suspension, the steering feels softer, it's more comfortable to ride, but you want your exhaust to be absolutely screaming at the top of its lungs, you can do that. Now on this menu, you can also change the exhaust just by touching the screen here. So we're in normal mode, you can go to sport, you can go to track mode if you really want to wake up your neighbors in the morning or just have fun while you're driving. here's another cool feature. I kind of like it. I know it's a little quirk, but when you open the door and the car's on, do you hear that? It sounds like a James Bond movie startup. It's actually pretty cool. Now, here's what I don't like about the car. The touchscreen and the digital display and all that is awesome. Everything else just kind of sort of feels so cheap, man. Plastic up here, pleather down here with blue stitching, which is kind of cool. It's color matched. Fake carbon fiber. It's a cool little accent there, but when you're spending $66,000, you kind of expect more quality and features for it. The seats are amazing. Don't get me wrong. These cars are on another level, especially since you can do harnesses through here if you're going to go and take it to the track. If you're buying a Dark Horse, it's cool that you have the logo there, but that's about it. And nowhere else do you see any sort of feature or mention that you just spent $20,000 more to get a Dark Horse. Even the logo on the steering wheel is just of a base Mustang. Now, here's another cool feature that a lot of you will not know about, and I didn't either, and it kind of threw me off until I realized what it is. So this right here is called an electronic drift brake, or EDB. Why is it called that? Well, it looks like a normal parking brake, but it's actually electronic. As you can tell, I have the parking brake on, but just by tapping it down, it releases, and then if I want to activate it, I just yank it back up, and there it goes. It's activated. Now, there's a way to make this also do drifting. You have to be in track mode for it to activate. It's actually pretty cool. I don't know exactly how that works. I'm not going to try because this is not my car. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe I'm about to say this, but I am driving a Mustang, a manual 5.0 V8 Mustang, and I'm not afraid of crashing. I know, I can't believe I just said that. How is that even possible? I got to say, this rev matching on this Tremec 6-speed transmission is by far the best rev match I have ever experienced in my life. I am almost confident in saying that you can literally jump into this car and learn how to drive manual within a day, minimum, maybe a few hours for that matter, just because of how easy it is to drive this car. I can't believe I'm saying it, and quite honestly, when I say drive it, like, look how easy rev matching is. 4th gear, 3rd gear, 2nd gear. Like, you can't screw that up. Dude, what? This is like completely different level. Now, here's why they put a Tremec 6-speed transmission in here. For the people that are Mustang guys, you know that the Tremec actually came in the Mustang Mach 1 in the previous generation and the GT350. Both of those cars are designed to be track oriented, right? They're designed to be able to hold a lot of power, be reliable, and be durable. And that's exactly why they put in this Dark Horse, because honestly, with the upgraded connecting rods and upgraded camshafts, better transmission, they're expecting you to modify this car. And just by the way this car drives handling wise, and I'm in normal mode, I'm not even in track mode, like, the response on the steering is insane. And just by a click of a button on the steering wheel, I can go from normal to comfort to sport mode. Look how much more responsive it is. Like, a Mustang that doesn't feel like it wants to put you into a wall every corner you take at speed limit or higher for that matter. That is the best feeling ever, and quite honestly, I'm not used to it. I've had multiple Mustangs, I've had multiple manual cars. I own an S4 right now that's manual. I've had a Whipple 5.0 that was manual, a GT350. I've had a lot of manual cars. This one just feels so good, so planted, and just feels like it's ready for power. Let's downshift. My God. I have never smiled this much in a manual car that's naturally aspirated at 500 horsepower. To me, I'm used to like 1,000 horsepower cars. I never thought, honestly, when I got this car, that I would enjoy it as much as I am. Just the way the car feels, the way the seat feels with the bolstering, the way the suspension is responsive, it's almost like the car itself knows that it's ready for more power. It knows that, like, it can handle a lot more. Somebody just got to put a supercharge on it or a twin turbo kit. That's all it's going to take. And quite honestly, I don't know if you guys seen the news, Whipple is offering their new gen kits for like $8,000, $9,000. Stage 1 is like 820 horsepower with a 3-year and 36,000 mile warranty. When have you ever modified a car and got warranty with it? That's incredible. I have never heard of that. And honestly, most dealerships, as soon as they see an intake on the car, your warranty's out the window. But Whipple's like, hey man, we're going to partner up with Ford. We understand what's going to happen in these cars, so why not take advantage of it and give people a reason to want to do the swaps and do the Whipple installs. Now, I do want to give a special thank you to my buddy Later HP on YouTube for allowing me to borrow this Mustang Dark Horse to enjoy it. He is the Ford guy. He's actually certified by Ford and Whipple to do Whipple installs. well. So I'm going to post a link to his website down below. Now, one thing I do want to show you guys is the actual exhaust noise difference just by pressing different modes. It actually works, unlike some cars where it's like barely any difference in the exhaust. So right now we are in just regular normal exhaust mode, right? We're in third gear. We're just going to do a quick little pull. Not bad. It sounds pretty good. Now let's put the track mode in here and listen to this sound. Oh yeah, night and day difference. I'm telling you, just the way the car sounds is incredible. And something about the rumble of this engine sounds a lot more low tone than the high pitched one I'm used to from the previous generation. And in my opinion, it sounds really good. Like, this is the first manual car that I'm driving that I want to continue driving. Like, I can actually enjoy this even if I got stuck in the stop and go traffic on the highway somewhere or the city driving. It will be okay, because with the rev matching and with the way the clutch feels super smooth, anybody can drive this car, honestly. And it's quite honestly dangerous to say that. Now, the 10-speed transmission is just as good. Don't get me wrong, my truck had a 10-speed transmission, and those suckers can hold a lot of horsepower with just a little bit of work. I gotta say, one thing I'm not used to is being able to take corners in the Mustang and not being scared. It is such a weird feeling. But what helps with that is the fact that these from factory come with Pirelli tires on a specific wheel that only a Dark Horse gets. Now, these Pirelli tires are amazing. I think they're all season tires, but the grip on them is incredible. Now, if you get the $5,000 handling package, you will actually get a different set of Pirelli tires. They're called Pirelli Trofeo RS. Same tires that you get on a Pagani or a McLaren Senna from factory. So literally set up to be a track monster. God, this thing just sounds so good. And you literally can't screw up a shift. Like, no matter how stupid you can be, you know, let's say throw it in second gear, this thing's screaming at 5,000 RPM. Car's not jerking, it's not doing anything stupid. It's awesome, man. Like, I'm enjoying driving a manual Mustang. I gotta say, that was a lot of fun. But let's talk about the next part, and that is the most important part. Is it worth spending $66,000 on a 5.0 naturally aspirated Mustang Dark Horse? In my opinion, no, not even close. For $67,000, $68,000, you're in the same price point as a Camaro ZL1 that's 650 horsepower, 650 foot-pounds of torque with the supercharger, or a 707 horsepower Challenger Hellcat. That's also in the 60s. So it's like there's no point of spending that much money to get this. Now, if you're talking $40,000, it's probably worth it. And here's why I'm saying that, because, well, what is the competitor to this car? It is the Challenger Scat Pack, let's say wide body, or the Camaro SS. Both of those cars are around 450 to 485 horsepower. This car can do 0 to 60 in 3.7 seconds. Those cars can do it in about 4 seconds to 4.2 seconds. So this car can do a quarter mile in 12 seconds. A Camaro SS does in about 12.2, and the Challenger does in 12.5 seconds. So half a second difference. But the MSRP of a Challenger is about $52,000. A Camaro SS is $48,000. It's nearly $20,000 difference to get a Dark Horse with 500 horsepower, but not that much performance difference. Now, with the upgraded connecting rods, I get it, you can push more power out of it, but quite honestly, a stock 5.0 with just upgraded oil pump gears and crank sprockets, which you don't even have to do on this body style because they already fixed all those issues. With the Whipple on it, my truck, that's all it was with the fuel system, and it can hold 1,000 horsepower, no problem at all. At that point, yeah, a $40,000 Mustang GT I would absolutely buy, but I wouldn't spend $66,000 to get a Mustang Dark Horse. Now, they did add all those new electronics in this car, but the seats are actually manual. You have to slide it with a little lever in the front, but this thing, it weighs 200 more pounds than the previous generation Mustangs. So the weight has gone up significantly because 200 pounds is a big deal, but the horsepower didn't go up that much at all. But the price point definitely did. So if I had to get a new Mustang, I would just do the Mustang GT. Still has a 5.0 in it, 10-speed transmission, nice big screen on the interior, but $20,000 less. But if I had to pick between all three, I'm a Mopar guy, so I would definitely pick the Challenger over this car unless the price point really drops on this thing. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you want to see more videos like this, definitely subscribe down below. We'll do a lot of racing, drag racing. We do all kinds of stuff on this channel, not just reviews. And a special thanks to Later HP for letting me borrow your car. Enjoy your lives, guys. Enjoy your cars, and I will see you next time. Peace.